Yeah, pretty much. How I got into photography actually. Um, so I did retail for over 20 years. My last real official job I had, which was a long period of time, was T-Mobile. I used to work for T-Mobile. I was a store manager for T-Mobile. And I had just been working retail for a long time, 20 plus years. And, and, and I was missing a lot of stuff. Like, for my oldest daughter, it was like I was making great money, but then I was missing a lot of stuff, because I was working a lot of hours, which is, I'm not complaining because that's the choice you make when you take the position. And the money was great. It was awesome. Like, no need to even, say it wasn't or lie about it. But I was missing a lot of stuff. Been doing it for a very long time, putting in a lot of hours, 50, 60 sometimes. During the holidays, it's mandatory certain days, to work certain hours and to close and. But anyway, that was a part of the struggle, but like I said, the compensation was great. It was a good company. I highly recommend it to anybody right now, especially the youngsters, you in your young 20s, even your 30s. I mean, shoot, even it don't even matter how old. Anyway, so let me get my words right. Let me correct myself. But anyway, my store was getting ready to close, and they were asking me if I wanted to transfer, which this is a whole big story in its own, but I'm gonna just speed it up a little bit. So I was like, nah, I don't want to transfer, and they were offering severance packages, and I was like, I'll take the severance, because I had a ton of PTO hours. I had a lot of stuff that, that they had to pay me out on top of paying me in advance, of course. But anyway, I'm in the studio one night, back to how I became a photographer. And I'm with my boy Studio, my boy Red, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm greatly appreciated to him. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it was his idea, to make a long story short. We chilling. I'm listening to the new albums and songs that they produce in MPI. Shout out to T-John, and the whole camp, West Nim, Reezy, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? L, you know what I'm saying? Don Bobo, all of them, And if I'm missing anybody, I apologize. But anyway, Red said, I know what you should do. Because they had heard that I was thinking about transitioning my career and stuff, changing from a job to a career, and I wanted to really own my own business. And I already had Zero Boy Productions going. And that's another story too. Shout out to the Long Beach chapter, shout out to Fantine, Capo, Feeds, Steve-O, rest in peace, Arsenic, Nello, what I'm saying, the Tiny Feast, the list goes on and on. So, Bandit, Scandalous, the Bandits, what I'm saying, Long Beach, y'all know what it is. We rocking. And if I forgot anybody, don't let me forget the Z Team, the Zero Girls. They held it down, Long Beach chapter. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front, I gotta give it to him. But anyway, he was like, man, I know what you should do. And I was like, what's that? He said, man, you should be a photographer. Well, before he said that, he said, I know what you should do. And then he went in the other room and came back with a camera and said I should be a photographer. And that's how it all started. That's how I became a photographer. And I said, but I did tell him I didn't know nothing about being a photographer. And then he said, you one of the smartest dudes I know, you can learn that shit. Yeah. I may have misconstrued his words, but it was along those lines. And I said, I thought about it. I said, damn. And then I started researching it and looking it up. And then I got my first camera, started playing around with my brother's company, doing videos. I didn't know what I was doing. I ain't even go front. It was fun though. It is still fun. Just learning, even though I've progressed now, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I was practicing with them, doing videos, practicing with my fam bam. You know what I'm saying? From the other side, where I grew up at, and when I just started learning this. And then I remember one day I was shooting a video and we finished it up playing around, and I came home and I pulled up in my driveway, and I got a phone call, and this promoter from a club, which I ain't gonna say no names because I want to save it for another part of a different vlog or something. But anyway, he know who he is. And he said, "Man, come take some pictures." Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it 100 and keep it going. I just have to repeat it. But I told somebody I'll give them the full backstory of it. But anyway, let me rewind. I finished shooting the video. I pull up to the house. I'm in the driveway. I get a phone call, and it's Marcus from Spike's Bar and Grill, and he says, "Hey, I heard you're a photographer." And that just goes to show you how fast word travels, because I'm only like a couple weeks in. I still really don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Wow. As the youngsters say, I'm gonna keep it a buck or whatever. But so I was like, yeah. And he was like, "What you doing right now?" And I was like, in my head I was saying like, shit, whatever, like, whatever you say I'm doing. But then I was like, just got through shooting a video. I kept it transparent. He said, "Well, you got time to come to the club, take some pictures?" And I was like, hell yeah. Yeah. So I reversed, went straight to the club, Spike's Bar and Grill. And I was there doing photography, practicing, learning. And then this old school gentleman put me up on game, and he was like, "You doing that all wrong, young man. You going about that all wrong, youngster." And I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "How you making some money?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm getting this, doing this, whatever." And then he said, "Go get you a printer, right? And then while you at the club and you taking the pictures, you can print them out and sell them." And once he said that, the light bulb went off. It was what? Once he said that, the light bulb went off. Yeah. And I was very fortunate to be able to get that opportunity to be able to do that. And then I learned in the club, basically, on YouTube. So I'm studying on YouTube, I'm shooting in the club, I'm learning lighting, flash, settings, all that good stuff. And people started asking me to do stuff outside of the club. Yep, I remember this lady, she said she liked my picture. She was getting married. Her wedding was gonna be in her backyard. And I told her, I said, "I ain't never shot a wedding before." But I was very transparent, and that's the thing, you got to be very transparent. And she said, "Well, you have good energy and your pictures look good at the club, so I can imagine they're gonna look good at my house." And I said, "Okay." And I did it. Can't remember how much I did it for, but I'm sure it wasn't what it was supposed to be, what it is now. But when you starting off, you gotta crawl before you walk. And she became a great client of mine. She's actually like my play mom to this day. She's booked me for everything. Her birthday parties, after the wedding, she was happy. Her tea parties. She's known for having good parties in her backyard. So shout out to Tanya. I will definitely give you that, Mom Dukes. You know who you are. Long Beach, you rocking. Yeah. And so that's how I started photography. And just kept learning, kept building, kept researching, studying, and learning. And I said I wanted to be one of the best club photographers, because then I did start shooting at other clubs. I shot at quite a few clubs. Then I started doing a few concerts, and then topping them, TDE started having concerts in the hood. I caught wind of that. Then I started going to that, and then once I start shooting, like, stuff like that for the hood, I'm doing it because I feel like I'm giving back to my neighborhood by showcasing it and documenting it. And then also it feels good because I grew up over there and I get to come back as a photographer and capture those moments that's precious and monumental. They last forever. But and it's a great opportunity for me. So I do it because it really touched my heart. Because I didn't know growing up over there I was gonna be a photographer as I grew up. So it just shows you how life works. How your story is kind of written, and then you got to figure it out. But you can make adjustments though, for sure. So that's how I became a photographer. Yeah. What I'm known as, I'm definitely known as an event photographer. Yeah, absolutely. But I try to do portraits. I know how to do portraits. So when somebody calls me and asks me for a portrait session, I know how to do portrait sessions as well. Yeah, I do family photos. I do quite a few family photos. I need to get better on posting, and learning my strategy on posting on social media, because I'm inconsistent. That's my problem. I'm really inconsistent. You know, um, because your algorithm ain't gonna push out your content if you're not consistent. And then you gotta have good captions and stuff too. You know, and yeah, I mean, y'all, this ain't no social media coaching session or nothing, but it all plays. Excuse me. It all plays into what we do as photographers and content creators or YouTubers or whatever the case it may be. But yeah, going back to how I became a photographer. Yeah, my boy Red said it. Yeah, and I give him all the credit. Gotta be honest, it was his idea. I just ran with it, and it worked, and it's still working. But it has its ups and downs like anything else. Because I might be booked for 3 weekends in a row, and a couple of days throughout the week, and then it might be a month where it's only 2 weekends out the month. It might be slow. You never know. You're not gonna be busy and booked every day. So if you're getting into photography thinking you're gonna be booked every day, it's not impossible, but the average of 30 days out of a month, you're not gonna be booked every day. I don't even know if you'd want to be booked every day. But you gotta build, you gotta grow, you gotta learn, you gotta understand what photography really is. If you want to do it as a profession, because now we have a lot of people with cameras, and they say they photographers or content creators or YouTubers, and there's no dismay or hate on any of them. When it comes to them getting cameras or anything, because that's what I'm here for, is to help people learn and understand. But that's the point I'm making, is that if you're gonna do it, be for real. Do it for real. Be serious about it. Like, don't just get a camera and say you're a photographer or content creator. You can claim it because you want to manifest it, but do the work behind it as well. That's what I'm saying. Do the action that comes with it. Because it's gonna be an ultimate reward for you once you learn and have developed that skill set. And you're forever learning. I'm forever learning. I have a photography buddy that says, "Man, why you always say that?" I say, "It's true. I'm still learning. I study every day." I'm not gonna lie and say I'm the greatest, even though I may think that in my head and say I'm the best. I may think that in my head, but I know at the end of the day, in reality, is there is no best. There's always going to be somebody better than you, better than that person that's better than you, better than that person that's better than him. So, You just have to love what you're doing with your craft, with your art, because photography is art, it's writing with light, and it's always providing great customer service. And I don't hear enough photographers on YouTube or on social media and all that saying the customer service part of it. Everybody's want to get technical. I get techie sometimes too. You want to learn the settings and all that good stuff, but you really want to talk about great customer service too, because you need to make those people feel good in your presence, in front of your lens, in front of your camera, in front of your lights. So customer service is a big one. Yeah, a lot of people miss that, you know. And I hear photographers a lot, and people ask me too, like, my photographer buddies that I know, they're like, man, you stay booked kind of consistently, you know. When I say I try to provide the best customer service I can. I try to treat people how I want to be treated. Simple as that.